All right, guys, welcome back, everyone. So, what we're going to do in this section is to get more details about the FSMO roles. So, let's go ahead back and see what's going on over here. We know that there's actually five of them. Let's say the first two over here are actually per a forest. The forest can have multiple domains, like a parent domain and a child domain, right? So, the schema and the domain name master are per a forest where the PDC grid and infrastructure is actually per domain. So I have some per forest and some are going to actually be per a domain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set up a child domain so we can see the difference. But for now, I just want to show you that we actually have what as you see, two domain controllers, all of them are pointing to one. So what does that mean? If server one crashes, I could be in big trouble. I have to do something to actually transfer or something called seize the roles on the second server itself. So that has to be actually done. So I'm just going to give you more details about all these roles over here so you can actually see. For now, I could see that all of them are pointed to one. But what are they? I want to get more details about the FSMA roles. What is the Schema Master? The Schema Master is basically the blueprint of Active Directory. For example, like when I go to Active Directory and I go to a specific user, let's say, right? Look at this. I have different tabs, I have different fields. This is like the schematic of Active Directory, the blueprint of Active Directory. That's what the schema is. Now, if I want to say, like, I want to get another tab over here, it's like I'm trying to extend the schema. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Schema is something that you actually try to avoid working with. All right, so check this out. What I'm going to do over here is the following. Back before, when you think about the schema, is like, you would have an Active Directory server, and a lot of times you would integrate that with Exchange. So the schema gets extended. It has like the email address tab, Exchange General, like all the features are actually associated with it, but it's not something that you mess with. The domain naming master, on the other hand, is also per of forest. This is in charge of adding or removing domains. So, in other words, I need to make sure that my domain names are actually unique. Okay, that's what I need to make sure that they're actually unique. I'm going to show you how it actually works in more details when I set up an actual child domain. But for now, I want to actually stick to this over here and show you how this actually works. So domain name master is in charge of adding or removing domain names to make sure that the names are unique. The schema master is the blueprint of Active Directory. The PDC, which stands for primary domain controller, the reason why they actually got that name is because back in the days with NT40, you would have a PDC and a BDC, like a primary domain controller and a backup domain controller. The PDC is the most important one and it does the most function. It processes user logons, it applies group policies. It does time synchronization, password replication. I mean, it's actually in charge of everything. So most likely it's getting contacted almost every actual second. That's the PDC. So it does logons, it does policies, it does time synchronization, password replication, right? It's in charge of most of the actual functions of AD. What is the grid master? Well, what it does, it assigns unique IDs. What is a unique ID? A SID, for example. When I do who am I over here, and I say splat user, look at this. I see the SID. Oh, you see that? This is unique only to me. The middle numbers are actually for my domain. Every Microsoft domain starts with 1521. Administrator is always 500. I'm going to see more details about this. I'm just telling you what each role is. So it makes sure that the SIDs are unique for every object in Active Directory. The infrastructure master is cross-domain relationship. If I have two domains in a forest, let's say a parent domain and a child domain, and there's delegation and permissions going on, that's infrastructure master. For relationship between different domains in the forest or other forests, let's say other organizations, other actual companies. So I just wanted to give you in this lecture just more details about each one of these roles. So let's remember the first two are actually per forest and the last three are actually per domain. And I'm going to be proving that in future lectures, as you see. All right, guys. Well, our next lecture, we're going to see how we could actually transfer some roles and we'll see what seizure does. And I want to test some of these roles with you guys so you can see more and more information about it. So we'll see you guys in a moment. So for now, bye.